So guys, I think we've just seen the worst. And I mean, the worst call in the history of sport. I think we actually might have just seen the worst call in the entire history of sport. And like, this is a shock that it is actually not DJonai Carrington committing a flagrant foul.
DJ Carrington has quickly become one of the most controversial figures in the WNBA, and her reputation took another dramatic turn during the July 26th showdown between the Dallas Wings and Golden State Buckeyes, known for stirring headlines, often for the wrong reasons. DJ found herself at the center of yet another story, but this time, the tables turned. In what many are calling the most ironic twist of the 2025 WNBA season, Carrington finally got a taste of her own medicine. The incident has only added fuel to the fire surrounding her name, making her story one of the most compelling and polarizing in the league today.
That call on DJonai when Tiffany literally flew over her, wild. And then if you saw Paige's face when it was like, I think like 55 seconds left on the clock or something like that, and the coach was like giving them the next play, bruh.
Bro, while questionable officiating has been a league-wide issue in the WNBA, DJ Carrington had somehow dodged the worst of it until then. On July 26th, that all changed. During the heated clash between the Dallas Wings and Golden State Buckeyes, the narrative took a sharp turn for the first time. Carrington found herself on the wrong end of one of the league's most baffling and controversial calls. It was a moment of irony that didn't go unnoticed, as she finally experienced the same kind of frustrating officiating that so many others have endured this season.
Hayes does not look nor play like she's 35. Okay, she be bringing it to them girls each and every night. She got that, acting like that face harness, okay, like to protect her face, her eyes, her nose, whatever that is. She be look like a dominatrix to me. I'd be like, bro, who is that? She looks like it's giving scarecrow, or like a black raven vibe, okay, like a hawk. And she looks like a bird of prey, okay? And that's how she plays. She plays like a bird of prey, while the other girls in the court are just worms to her, okay? They are bird food, because she be cooking and eating everybody.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe. With under the minutes remaining and Dallas trailing by 3, Janelle Saloon launched a deep three that missed the mark, triggering a frantic scramble for the rebound. DJ Carrington chased after it, but made a smart, heads-up decision to let the ball roll out of bounds, ensuring Dallas retained possession. But what followed was absolute chaos, as Carrington stood her ground. Tiffany Hayes came sprinting in full speed and slammed into her from behind, sending both players crashing to the floor. By almost any standard, it looked like a clear foul. On Hayes, she was out of control and initiated all the contact.
So the ball gets swung. Janelle Saloon shoots the ball. It's coming out. So DJonai Carrington is just shielding the ball out of bounds. She's just shielding the ball out of bounds, as you do. And Tiffany Hayes tackles her to the ground.
But for reasons no one can quite explain, the referees called the foul on Carrington, leaving even the most seasoned WNBA fans completely stunned. And yes, let's say it again because it's just that absurd. Tiffany Hayes barreled full speed into a stationary DJ Carrington, knocked her to the floor, and somehow the officials ruled that Carrington committed the foul. The call was so blatantly wrong that even Carrington's harshest critics, those who usually have little sympathy for her, were forced to admit the referees had completely blown it. It was one of the most baffling decisions of the season and a major flashpoint in the ongoing officiating controversy.
And was able to draw a foul. I'm like, what is this? I mean, she almost deleted freaking DJonai. I thought, like, I was really gravely concerned for DJonai Carrington's life in health. I'm like, did y'all not just see Tiffany Hayes just throw her body up against her and slam her to the ground? This is crazy. Literally slammed her. DJonai Carrington got pushed into a freaking old white man's lap because of Tiffany Hayes jumping on her like she ain't got no sense.
Now, here's where the story takes a fascinating turn and where the karma angle really kicks in. Normally, a call as outrageous would have triggered immediate backlash from across the WNBA community. Fans, players, analysts, and even casual viewers would be united in outrage, slamming the refs and expressing sympathy for the player on the receiving end of such a blatant mistake. Social media would have lit up with clips, criticism, and calls for accountability. But this wasn't a typical situation, and DJ Carrington isn't just any player. Reaction from fans was swift and brutal, but not in the way you'd expect. Instead of defending her, much of the internet responded with a collective shrug over this. Many basically said, good, she had it coming.
Skylar's going down for a fast break layup. DJonai winds up
and smacks her across the head, and Skylar is on the ground having a hard time getting up. But this was something where people are saying, okay, DJonai, this is happening a little bit too much for my liking. These hard fouls, these reckless plays are happening a little bit too much, and I want to show you guys one more play that was also in that game that actually injured Gabby Williams. Now, if you watch here, Gabby Williams is going up for a little mid-range jumper. DJonai jumps to try to block her, and she comes down to where Gabby Williams doesn't have enough landing space. So she lands in her landing space, and then Gabby Williams rolls her ankle.
The sentiment on social media was loud and clear. Fans who have witnessed DJ Carrington poke Caitlin Clark in the eye, rack up multiple flagrant fouls, and consistently employ what many consider dirty tactics suddenly felt a strange sense of satisfaction. Comments like, "Karma finally caught up with her, now she knows how it feels," flooded timelines. The reaction was so widespread and consistent that it became a story in itself. Despite being clearly wronged by the officiating, Carrington received almost no sympathy from the basketball community. It was a striking example of how a player's reputation and past behavior can completely shape public perception even when that player is the obvious victim of an injustice.
So once again, DJonai Ratchet as Carrington is back at it again, being the dirty player that she is, man. So now we're pulling players to the floor by their hair. But what did we tweet earlier this week, everybody? Y'all fans swear I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative. But I just play hard as fuck, and I just make a play on the ball, and I'm tired of people calling me a dirty player.
Calling it one of the worst calls in WNBA history might actually be putting it lightly. DJ Carrington played it perfectly. She chased down the ball, wisely pulled back, and held her ground. Meanwhile, Tiffany Hayes came barreling in at full. Speed and glided into Carrington from behind. Carrington didn't move, didn't initiate contact. Yet somehow she was the one called for the foul. By any standard rules, logic, or basic common sense, it should have been a foul on Hayes, or simply a no call. The decision was so egregious that even Golden State fans, whose team directly benefited, struggled to justify it. Dallas fans, understandably outraged not just because it robbed them of critical possession, but because it highlighted everything that's gone wrong with WNBA officiating this season. That moment shifted the entire game. Instead of Dallas having it, ball in a tight contest, Golden State took over and rode the momentum to a 10-point win.
Instead it's Dallas ball. But do you know what another referee called? Do you know what another referee called? So one says it's Dallas ball. Another referee, as you can see right here, Salon miss, Valkyrie's rebound. Apparently Tiffany Hayes got the rebound, and DJonai fouled Tiffany Hayes. Apparently Tiffany Hayes got the rebound and got fouled by jumping on DJonai Carrington.
The beautiful irony of the entire situation wasn't lost on anyone paying attention. DJ Carrington had poked Caitlin Clark in the eye without receiving so much as a foul or league discipline. She had committed multiple flagrant fouls, many of which were later rescinded on appeal and even stirred up enough cases to require security intervention during disputes with referees. Yet somehow, through all of it, she had managed to avoid falling victim to being consistent and often baffling, officiating that had plagued so many others throughout the season. But on July 26th, karma finally caught up with her in the most poetic way imaginable. The timing couldn't have been more brutal. A tight, high-stakes game where every possession mattered and a Dallas team desperately fighting to stay afloat in a tough season. The blown call directly led to points for Golden State and played a significant role in a loss that could come back to haunt Dallas in the playoff race.
DJonai Carrington, damn, I didn't think it was this bad. She played for 15 minutes. It felt like it was longer. She had 4 points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. I'm gonna tell you why we should have won, okay? When it comes to the biggest lead, the Dallas Wings had 12-point lead. We blew a 12-point lead, whereas the Golden State Valkyries only by 2. They had 10 points over us at the most in this game. 12 versus 10 points.
Jane Carrington, man, I didn't think it was this bad. She played just 15 minutes, but felt like so much longer. Her stat line for points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds. That's it. And honestly, Dallas should have won that game. Held a 12-point lead at one point, compared to the Golden State Valkyries' largest lead of just 2. Yet somehow, we let it slip. In most situations, when a player gets blatantly screwed by a bad officiating call, there's usually at least some public sympathy. Fans typically call out the refs. Analysts might break down the play, and social media often rallies behind the wrong player. But in Carrington's case, none of that happened. The overwhelming reaction. Sucks to be her, she had it coming. It was a textbook example of how a player's past behavior can shape public perception, even in moments of obvious injustice. When fans are more excited to see a player get burned by bad officiating than they are outraged by the officiating itself, It's a clear sign that the league's credibility and connection with its fans base is starting to crack.
Is this? Look! Pulling players to the floor by their hair is not making plays on the ball. This is not basketball. WNBA. When is she gonna get fined, suspended, or kicked out of the league for this reckless behavior? This is the 4th incident. The Lynx incident, taking out Ariel Atkins, taking out Skylar Diggins, and now the LA Sparks. When is it gonna stop, man? When is accountability gonna be taken for her being the dirty player and ratchet that she is?
People should be outraged by terrible officiating no matter which player it affects. But the reaction to DJ Carrington's situation reveals something deeper. Many fans have simply stopped expecting fair or consistent calls from WNBA officials. This incident also highlights how certain players can become lightning rods for broader frustrations within the league. Carrington's reputation for physical and at times reckless play made her an easy target for fans fed up with what they perceive as a lack of accountability. From a competitive standpoint, the fact that such egregious calls can occur during crucial moments in tight games raises serious concerns about the league's ability to uphold the integrity of its competition when fans start to believe that outcomes are being shaped by incompetent or biased officiating. It doesn't just hurt one game, it threatens the credibility of the entire league.